Hi there, Terry back with the Comic Cover Show. Or should it be the Comic Cover Club? Triple C. No, probably not. Triple G will probably be after me. Well, I hope you enjoyed the first part from 1960, and it wasn't too long. And now if you would like to like and subscribe, that would be great. And then I can get started. Oh, by the way, have you worked out my omission yet from the previous video? If not, go back and watch, and hopefully you'll find the clue there. And then you can give me the answer, and then you can win some comic books. Right, we will start with July cover date of Superman, number 138. Excuse me, fighting with your paperwork. Right. As you can see on the cover, Titano the Super Ape. That's his second appearance in Superman. And this was written by Otto Binder and Wayne Boring and Stan Kaye. In this issue as well, there's a story called The Mermaid from Atlantis, which written by Jerry Siegel, Wayne Boring and Stan Kaye, and also there was a cameo appearance of Aquaman, which didn't happen very often in the Silver Age books, not until after the Justice League came out anyway. Then we have Action Comics number 266. Love this cover, with all the family together. Okay, and this one, both stories are written by Jerry Siegel. The first one was Wayne Boring and Stan Kaye as far as art was concerned, and the next, and the Supergirl story, was by Jim Mooney. In this one, Streaky returns, and also this is the how many cover appearances of Supergirl? I'm not going to ask that question anymore, but if you can answer in the comments, there may be a prize. Then we have Superman number 139, August cover date. When Superman becomes a merman, or does he? This was written by Jerry Siegel and Wayne Boring and Stan Kaye. The second story was written by Jerry Coleman and Al Plastino, and the third story was a Red Kryptonite story. The Red Kryptonite first appeared in Adventure Comics 255 in December 1958. Not the collection that I have been getting as far as the older stuff is concerned. I've just started a Supergirl collection from 381 through to 425, I think it is. Probably 424 actually, thinking about it. Next one we have, where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Action Comics number 267. Okay, this is an August cover date. It's by Curt Swan and Stan Kaye, the cover art. The Superman story was by Otto Binder, Wayne Boring and Stan Kaye. This was quite an expensive book, the reason being the Supergirl story. And as with a lot of stories that go on from here, the Legion of Superheroes, who had only appeared twice before, have now, for the third time, some more of them turn up in this story. And they were the Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy and the Invisible Kid. The writer was Jerry Siegel and the art was by Jim Mooney. But everything that seems the Legion of Superheroes appears in seems to put the price up. There you go. Next was for the first time, a annual. And this was the Giant Superman annual. And as you can see, this isn't the real thing. But I had this in my collection for a while until I could find one. And I did. I managed to get a slab. It's a PGX slab. 4.5, as you can see there. And it had a number of stories in it. Where's we got paperwork from? Oh, there it was up there, sorry. The only thing was, in this story, we've been around for 22 years by now, or DC have, but these stories came from 1956 to 1959, of which Lois Lane #1 was a reprinting just from a few, not that long ago. And then it was Action 252, Supergirl's appearance. Superman 129, that was the flashback Laurie Lemons one, which I spoke about in the last part. And Action 241, and that was the Silver Age Fortress of Solitude story, which wasn't that long ago either. It would be nice if there had some older stories in it, but there you go. We then have Action Comics number 268 for September cover date. Curt Swan was the cover artist, and then we had the story writer, Otto Binder, Wayne Boring and Stan Kay. And there was another story called The Mystery Supergirl, written by Jerry Siegel and Jim Mooney. But there wasn't a lot that happened in this issue, other than the amazing story on the front. The next is a November cover date, Superman 141. No, do apologise. Superman 140, I should say. And this was again by Curt Swan and Stan Kay for the cover art. And as you can see, it's a 3-part novel, The Son of Bizarro. And this was the first appearance of Blue Kryptonite, which can only harm the Bizarros. It was the first appearance of the Bizarro Supergirl, and if I remember correctly, she actually dies in this issue. I don't know whether they ever made another one. And it was also the origin of the Bizarro Jr. Written by Otto Binder, Wayne Boring and Stan Kay did the art. And it was also the very first appearance of the Bizarro Fortress of Solitude, and it wasn't spelt anything like that. Then we have Action Comics 269, art by Curt Swan. The Truth Mirror was written by Jerry Siegel. Curt Swan and Stan Kay did the art, so Curt Swan's appearing a little bit more often, which is nice. And then Supergirl's First Romance, again written by Jerry Siegel, art by Jim Mooney, as per usual at the moment. And this was the very first appearance of Jero the Merboy, the love interest of Supergirl. Obviously Superman had his Laurie Laramis, so why can't Supergirl have one as well? It's very, very hot and sticky here, I'm afraid, so everything's sticking together. Then we have Superman 141, the November cover date. And this story, as it says, is the return to Krypton. This was actually reprinted in Superman 232. But this was written by Jerry Siegel, art again by Wayne Boring and Stan Kay. And this was the first appearance chronologically of Brainiac and Coco his monkey. Obviously before Superman met them in Action Comics 242. And then we have a couple of issues of Action. November cover date, number 270. Poor old Superman getting a bit old. And this was written, the cover story was written by Otto Binder. Art was by Curt Swan and John Forte. And then Supergirl's had a very busy day, and that was written by Jerry Siegel and Jim Mooney. This also was the first cover appearance of, guess who? Superwoman. And then the last Action Comics for the year, Action 271, The Voyage to Dimension X. The cover story was written by Otto Binder, and the art was by Al Plastino for a change. And then we also had a story called Supergirl's Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, I think lasted this particular issue, and so we think we saw it again. It was written by Jerry Siegel and Jim Mooney, and yet again she was fostered, but it didn't last. And last but not least, this is the Giant Superman Annual number 2. It came out in November of 1960, but the cover date is actually December 1960, January 1961. So I could have either put it in this piece, or I could have put it in the beginning of the 1961. But I thought, just to clear them up, and also have the same complaint, this also had issues in it that, well, the oldest story in here was from Superboy 87, February 1954, so obviously 6 years old. But a lot of the stories were only 2 or 3 years old. Hence, you had Metallo Action 252, you had Superboy number 68, which is the first Bizarro, you had Brainiac 242, and you had Titano Superman 127, obviously the first appearance of Titano. But again, that wasn't that long ago. And as I said, the oldest story in here was from Superman 87, and that was from February 1954. But again, it's only 6 years old. And that is it. Please let me know what you think of my series so far. If you'd like to comment, it would be brilliant if you would. If you put your thumbs up, do that. And if you subscribe, that would be even better. Sorry if you heard any noises in the background. I've got the door open because it is so hot, and the little ones and kiddies and everything else are playing outside. So you may have heard them shouting. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.